What were we just talking about? We were just getting coffee, and we were talking. You said something. We were talking about Ninja. Oh, we're talking about Zach. That's right. And you're saying how he, decided to change his career path and not focus on Ninja because can you say that again? What did you say? I forget.
Yeah, I remember talking to Zach when he was s- just getting out and competing in Ninja, and he wanted to work on something that he knows he can build. Whereas if he competes and puts all his time and energy into competing in Ninja, he might not even get the call for one. And then if you do get the call, the chance of winning is slim to none. And if you don't win, you barely get paid anything. So you're basically putting all your eggs in one basket, and you don't have much you don't have much say in whether you're gonna succeed or not. So he wanted to work on something he can build and grow.
Yeah, that makes sense. Is that kind of why you stopped? You think, or because I remember like when I first met you, you came into the gym. You're with Larry. Shout out Larry.
Shout out Larry, Larry Simmons.
Yeah, that's our guy. And you like came in for an open gym and you were super talkative and like right away you and I started like, I guess bonding and talking and stuff. And then that was kind of how your ninja training journey started, right? Was when you first came to our gym or did you start before that?
It started a little before that, but this was like the first real ninja gym that I was at. So definitely when I started coming here is when it officially started, I guess.
Mm.
I started training a little before that, but just in a small gym. Lidditz Rec Rock. You
Oh
remember that
yeah,
gym?
yeah, Rec Rocks,
Which
yep.
it's not really a ninja gym at all, but I did some ninja things. I learned the salmon ladder there and warped wall and some other
Mm.
laches. I could do laches there.
That's pretty cool. Wait, so what made you decide to get into it? Ninja, I
Into
mean.
ninja,
Yeah.
I remember seeing the show on TV somewhere, and I saw this farmer. What was his name?
Oh, Lance Pekas?
Lance.
Yeah, Lance
Yeah,
Pekas.
and of course that was something that I really resonated with. And well, first of all, I always liked competitions, and I never got to play any sports growing up. So a show like this was very intriguing to me. It's a chance to compete, and then I see a farmer compete, and I grew up on a farm, so I'm like, oh yeah, this is this is meant for somebody like me who's a farmer. I have farm strength, I can do this. I thought I would be good at this.
Yep.
But I didn't really compete or do anything about it. I just thought it seems cool, something I could do, and maybe something I can do in the future, but I didn't. I remember seeing the show and thinking it's cool, thinking I'd like to do it, but then not doing anything about
Mm.
it until maybe a year later or so. But when I actually started working out and I started in CrossFit, doing CrossFit, and then I wanted to do some ninja competitions. Or I think it started with I did some Spartan and Tough Mudders one summer. I did a one or two of those obstacle races outdoors, and then wintertime came around, and I was looking for indoor obstacles to train on because I was in a very competitive spirit at the time. I just wanted to do competitions anytime I could, and then the only indoor obstacles were ninja obstacles, and that kind of relit the fire to, or that kind of ignited that flame to compete in ninja. And then I remembered seeing it on TV and thinking how cool it was.
Yeah, that
So
makes sense. And then you came to the gym with Larry, and then the rest is history, man. It's kinda crazy. You've been a part of the gym, the community here since then, which is wild. So, it's cool to have you on the podcast, you know? It's gonna be exciting to hear people get to know you more, especially people in the chase tag community, and we're gonna be talking about so much stuff, so I'm excited for this one for sure. But, so yeah, you started with Ninja. That's how you and I first met, and then that's how, like, everything kinda started. So, you did Ninja for a couple of years, obviously. You trained, you did competitions, you competed on the show, right? Twice, right? 2
two
times?
seasons, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so 2 seasons, and then what was your biggest takeaway from competing on the show, and just with your Ninja time in general, your time with Ninja?
Biggest takeaway?
Yeah, I guess from being on the show or just in general with being on Ninja or competing with Ninja?
Hmm. I don't really know if I got a takeaway from it. I did enjoy my time there. I did enjoy competing. Um, well, one thing I did realize is if you wanna compete at the highest level, you have to be dedicated, almost train every single day or close to it. If you're not training every day, you gotta be yeah, almost train every day is one thing. So, you can compete on the show competitively, but if you wanna actually compete at the very highest level, you have to just dedicate almost your whole life to it. You see, at the time, Matt Bradley was competing also. I think that was over the time I was competing, and I would see how much of his life he dedicated to ninja, which was everything from, like, the moment he woke up till when he went to bed. He was either building obstacles or working on, making courses and then training full time. So I realized if you wanna compete at the highest level, you have to
Yeah,
train almost
100%.
every single day, and that's when that's when I probably switched over to I still like to be competitive, but I went more into chase tag because I didn't wanna spend all that time I didn't wanna spend every single day, a couple hours a day training,
Yeah.
ninja.
Yeah, it makes sense. You just weren't as passionate about it to continue, and I feel like, yeah, once we got into chase tag, that kinda became the main thing.
Mhm.
Because you obviously were at the gym before we had the quad and everything. We still used to have our just training sessions around our parkour stuff. We'd set up some boxes and bars and just like attempt to play. And now we have the quads. You've been around since the beginning. You know, you've been on the team since the first time we ever competed. So it's kind of cool to see that transition as well. And so what do you think about chase tag drew you to it in the first place? Like you were obviously doing ninja, you started to lose the passion. Then I think the one day it was like me, Aaron, and I forget who else. We were training chase tag, and you were there for ninja. And then we were just like, "Oh, Paul, come try this." And you're like, "Okay." And then you were super good and just like beat all of us. Uh,
Yeah, well, I think I always consider myself somewhat athletic, and then and I'm not super tall, so I'm kind of built for being agile a little bit, so that came naturally. And we just had random obstacles set up in the gym, so just kind of we were just sort of playing the old tag game as a kid. We just set up a little playground and played tag, and that's something I did all the time as a kid. So
and you also, chase like various animals around too, correct?
yeah, yeah. So on the farm, of course, you're always running around herding animals, or we had a lot of different animals on the farm. So
Yeah, I think that's one thing people maybe don't know about you is your kind of upbringing. And for those of you that don't know, Paul grew up Amish. Maybe you could just talk about for those that don't know what being Amish means and just talk about like what that culture looks like, and then we can kind of discuss more about that stuff, I guess.
yeah, it It seems it seems, to me growing up, it was completely normal. It didn't feel like I haven't had an abnormal or weird upbringing, but obviously looking back, it's not very common. But basically being Amish is you have very limited technology or if any at all, and, our transportation was horse and buggy. That's probably one of the main things you think about when you see the Amish, or you come to the Amish community, you see all the horses and buggies out on the road. Um, but I grew up on a farm, so we had a dairy farm, about 50 cows, which needed to be milked every morning and evening and fed, obviously, and then we had our horses, the horses to do the field work, which we normally would plant crops, mainly to feed the animals, corn and hay for all the cows, and then we needed the horses, obviously, to do the farm work for us. So there was a lot of manual labor. So growing up, there was a lot of hard work, and not a lot of play.
Yeah, that makes sense. That kind of like led you to be as hardworking as you are now. Like clearly one of your biggest values, I guess, is hard work and stuff. But so being Amish, it's more of a religious thing, right? Like it's like a like what's the reason for no technology again?
Yeah, it's definitely it's almost cult like in a way, but no, the whole premise does come from wanting to focus more on community and have a simple lifestyle is, I guess, how it started. I don't really know the whole history of the
Hmm.
of what it started, but having a simple lifestyle and living sort of independent from the government or worldly materials, possessions, I guess,
Hmm.
um, is sort of how it really started. But it's definitely, I would consider it a religion, almost like a cult. Except you can leave if you want. You just get you s- depends where you grow up or depends where you're what part. Some Amish are more strict than others. If you leave, they'll completely shun you. Others are more understanding and will still have a relationship with you. But you can leave. It's not a cult where you have to stay.
That's funny. Would you think most Amish people would agree with you with the way you described it, or
Um, N Probably not. Most people that left the Amish would probably agree, but the ones that are still Amish would not agree because if you're in a cult, you don't know you're in a cult type of thing, you know?
well, that is true, isn't it? So you, you left the community, obviously. Now you obviously aren't really, you're not Amish anymore, I guess. But I think you told me in the past, like there's this room springer phase where like youth kind of like. Can you explain that a little bit, like what that is exactly, and how you kind of left the community?
Yeah, the simple version of it is you get to hang out with once you become 16, you get to join a youth group and hang out with friends, which there's multiple youth groups out there. But every weekend you get together, you play games and hang out. But you hang out with your your little group, which might be between 50 people to 100 people around your age, teenagers just getting to know each other. It's just a good way to get out and make friends, and a lot of people find their other half and get married. But that's sort of the whole idea of it. But then there's some people who take it a little farther and try. They'll get their driver's license and have a car and experience a little bit more of a modern lifestyle for a year or two or a couple years. And then a lot of them still end up getting married in the Amish community and then getting rid of their car and going back to the Amish lifestyle. But then people like me, I never wanted to go back. So
I think you said a long time ago, as soon as you drove a car and saw how fast that thing went, you're like, yeah, never going back.
yeah, that did it for me.
That's so Paul like. Interesting. So you drove a car, you left, and then that's kind of what created you or made you start the path you're on now, I guess you could say. That you're
Yeah.
not involved in stuff. But obviously growing up Amish had a huge impact on your life. It taught you a lot of really important values. And I guess maybe what is the most important value you learned from being Amish? I guess my assumption is hard work, right? Because obviously you're on the farm every single day from sunrise till the sundown, working hard, being with the animals, all these things. But would you say that's the most important value, or is there other values that you think are also equally as important, if not more important?
I think work ethic is the main one, is the most important one that I still value to this day because I don't think work ethic is something you're born with, be, because no one wants to work hard. That's not like human instincts to work hard. Like you don't wake up thinking I want to work hard, or at least I didn't. But I didn't have a choice, so I always had to show up. Even when I was sick, I had to go. The animals needed to be taken care of, and um I had my set of chores that need to be done, which was taking care of the animals. And if I don't take care of them, they're gonna go hungry. And of course, you have a heart for the animals, so I always wanted to make sure they're taken care of. So whether I was feeling good or not, or in the mood or not, I had to show up every morning and every evening and take care of them.
Yeah, so it was discipline, it was hard work, and I think those are both really, really important values that maybe a lot of kids these days or people in general don't really have anymore. I feel like so many times nowadays things are kind of given to you, right? Like, and there's so much easy gratification with social media and Instagram, TikTok, whatever. And like people kind of don't have that same work ethic that maybe they used to, where it's like because you grew up in this more traditional lifestyle with not technology and all these different things, like it led to you developing these values, which I think are really important. So,
Yeah, I think, well, in today's lifestyle, a lot of people don't have responsibilities, which that can come in multiple forms, but for me, it was animals. So if something if you have somebody or something that you need to take care of, that drives you to show up even if you don't feel like it. So I had that from very young age. I had other living creatures depending on me. So um, that helps, create that work ethic. And then if you show up every day for years and years and years, you just learn to show up no matter what. And that's probably the thing I value the most from the way I was raised.
Yeah,
But you can learn that. You don't have to be Amish to learn that. You can learn that. Some people, I'm sure there's plenty of people out there who have responsibilities and learn good work ethic too. But that'd be my one takeaway.
yeah, it totally makes sense. You're right. Like you don't need to live a more traditional lifestyle or anything to get to learn those same values. I feel like for a lot of people, maybe sport is one of those things that creates discipline and creates that work ethic. You know what I mean? Like if you want to be successful in whatever sport you're, whether it's ninja, chase tag, insert whatever sport, like you have to have discipline. You have to be able to work hard and push through those days that you don't want to work at it. Because a second ago, you're saying there were some days where you woke up sick and you didn't want to be there. You didn't want to put in the work, and obviously everyone has that. But what separates like I think like the elites of the elites is people that wake up and work hard no matter what the condition is that day, whether you're sick or not slept right or whatever it is. You know what I mean? And yeah, I think you can get that in a lot of ways, not just growing up. I think it's important to instill it as a kid, but like you're saying, you can teach yourself and instill that discipline, hard work yourself as well. So
Yeah, that's so true. Sport really does that to you. Now, sport is you have to find your motivation another way. You don't have something depending on you, but if you show up every day to your and dedicate time to your sport, you're gonna be successful. And if you can find some motivation to do that, those are the people who are successful in ninja or chase tag or any other sport that you want to play.
yeah, sports one thing. Also, maybe even school for some kids, right? Like to be disciplined, to wake up early every day, go to school, sit through all these boring classes. Like it's the same thing. I think maybe I don't know, I guess it's a different conversation about the school system and education, but still, like, one of the purposes of school, I feel like, is to kinda teach kids discipline in that way. Whether you're homeschooled or public school, whatever it is, like, just having to go through all these things you don't wanna do kind of forces you to develop that, I guess, drive and discipline that you need to be successful later on in life anyway. But whatever it is, whether it's sports, school, whatever, like, yeah, just I think it's important to find something in your life that you can dedicate time to, and then use that as a resource to teach yourself discipline, hard work, these values that we're discussing. But, yeah. I mean, what would you say, like, if you had to give one piece of advice to someone to develop these skills we're talking about or values we're talking about, what would you say to them?
I mean, if you just have to show up every day, but how do you do that? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I guess more so like, we're how let's say someone struggles to find discipline, struggles to work hard and to maintain that discipline in hard work through tough times. What piece of advice would you maybe give to them that you've learned from all your years of being Amish as an athlete to maybe help them to do better at that, to find that discipline through those hard times?
Well, I think one thing that's helped me is even in even in sport and training is if you some days you just don't feel good, you don't feel like doing it, but it's better to go and even just be like and let's use training as an example. It's better to go train and not be at 100%. Maybe you're just at 50%, but it's better to just show up and do the thing even when you're not feeling good, even when you're only giving 50% versus 100. If you can just get yourself to show up, that's the best thing. You don't have who cares if you do well or not that day. If you show up, that's that's going to become I think that's the best thing you can do because then the good days will come and you're going to be there. Whereas if you decide you're not going to go on the days you don't feel like it or you don't feel good, then soon those days are going to keep adding up.
100%. Yeah, I feel like a lot of it's also developing habits, right? Like it's like
Yeah,
being able to keep pushing yourself through those times so you create that habit of doing so, as opposed to just giving up every time you're faced with a bit of adversity, I guess. But that
yeah.
makes sense. But yeah, I mean, it seems like the one of the reasons why you become successful and not just being an athlete, like I mean, you've opened several businesses now too, right? Like how many businesses have you owned?
Um, I 3. One was just I was my own. I guess I had one person that was working with me. I had my own little trucking company, but it started as I was an owner operator truck driver. Um, I would transport wide loads, which was I thought was really fun, because I used to build sheds and little mini, yeah, basically mini barns. And I used to do that when I was Amish. I would build them, but then when I got my license and I was driving, I got my CDL, and then I started transporting these buildings because I was already in that industry. And then I could have built that company, but I didn't really have a passion for it. So I really, I really loved the gym and ninja and CrossFit. For example, I was doing a lot of CrossFit over that time. So then I partnered up with somebody in our CrossFit gym, and we started our own CrossFit gym. And I did that for 5 or 6 years, maybe. And then right now, it's my brother and I have a salvage slash demolition business. So I'm on number three.
Number 3. Yeah, that's crazy, man. You're a very successful guy, this one, Paul Fisher.
I don't know. I mean, the other companies I had kind of went away to nothing, but I feel like I just go after the next thing or something. If something phases out, I just go on to something else, which I'm not sure if that's good or bad, but I just that's just how it's been so far.
Yeah, that makes sense. I know, I remember, like, it's interesting because Paul and I have been on many adventures together, many, many adventures, and it's interesting how similar you and I actually are with things we kinda go through in our lives. Like, I remember when we were in Greece before Worlds last year for Chase Tag, so WCT, was it 6? I don't yeah, it's 6, yeah. So before Paris last year, we went to Greece, we were, there hanging out, having a little vacation, trying to get over jet lag, whatever, and, at that time, we were both kind of facing a lot of serious burnout where it was like I was considering closing my gym, you were in the process of closing your gym because you were just so burnt out. I mean, it's interesting how similar we've been, but maybe you can tell people what that was like and kind of that burnout you were feeling, because I feel like so many people go through burnout in their career, in their sport, whatever. And you, for example, knew it was time to to pull out because it was too much, right? Whereas for
Mhm.
me, I was able to reignite that passion and flame that I had that made me wanna do it in the first place, and that's why I kinda stayed with it. But I'm curious, like, from your perspective of deciding to turn around and put stop fighting for it, like, what was that like?
Yeah, yeah, that's a great question. Because you stay with your gym, but I think like you already had a bigger following and even more people. You had already built a bigger community, and it was your whole life so far. Like you started with Ninja and Chase Tag, you had all that together in one gym. And I feel like for me, I didn't have everything together in one. My whole life was kind of in a couple different spots. And so I had to, for me, I had to like close out some areas so I could focus on others more. And the gym ended up being one that I had to close out. For example, I would do CrossFit. I love CrossFit and I had my little community there. But then I would come up here and train Chase Tag or Ninja. So I was spread out from those two things. And then in the meantime, my brother and I were working on our business and the salvage demolition one that I just talked about. Um, so I was spread out too much, and I had to close out some avenues, and the gym was one of those that wasn't making any money for one, and I was losing interest in it, or maybe not losing interest, but maybe more interest was in the other areas of my life that I knew I had to shut down some areas. So I think that's what did it for me. I think we were in a similar spot, but you kind of had everything in one. You had your whole life sort of in this gym in Dexterity, but whereas I was spread out.
That makes sense. So you're kinda being pulled in too many directions at once, and that's what kind of led to the burnout at first.
Yeah, and then sorry, and then also I can't give my if I'm spread out too thin, I'm not giving as much as I could to the gym where it could have probably been successful if I would have gave 100% of my effort to that, but I was spread out too far, and then the gym didn't get what it needed from me, and then that was probably one of the reasons it wasn't as successful too.
That makes sense. And so when did you first start feeling that burnout? Like, because I know you had partners, right? And then did you buy them out or they stopped being with you or how'd that happen again? I forget.
Yeah, um, well, yeah, they both left sort of at the same time, or one left and then the other one soon after, and they were also sort of in the same shoes as I was. They kinda burned out a little bit too, I think. Um, and then I had the option to either close it or continue on my own, and I decided to continue. I wanted to give it a shot, and I think I did that for a year, at least a year, if not 2, on my own, and it was just too much for me to do it on my own. But, it was fine when I had partners, because the partners, did we each had our little role when we were partners, but when I had to do everything, it was it wasn't fine.
Yeah, man. That's true. You can't do everything on your own. Well, that's why I think it's important as a leader to be able to delegate things, right? Like having a good staff under your people you can trust to hand off things to, because if you don't, like that burnout just comes so fast. Like it's just true.
Yeah.
So it sounds like for you, you're pulled in so many different directions. You were doing everything on your own. That's kind of why your burnout started. For me, it was like I had so many. It was similar, but it was more internal. If that makes sense. Like I was dealing with so many things inside. Like my dad had just passed away. My dog then died. Like that Christmas Eve that same year. Like there was so many negative things happening in my life that's kind of what led me into my burnout. And also, like as a gym owner for in ninja parkour community, like, and Chase Tag, I guess, like, I don't make the most money either, you know? Like, right now, I don't even have health insurance, I gotta figure that out. But,
Same here.
yeah. But, it's a labor of love. Like, the reason why I started at the gym, for example, is, like, when I first started doing ninja and parkour, it really helped me to overcome some serious mental health obstacles I was facing back then. And so the reason I went to start a gym is because or start teaching it in general is because I saw the value of how it benefited me and helped me in my life, and I knew it could do the same for other people. So that's kind of what started it. And I never expected to be like a millionaire or like be rich from and whatever from opening the gym. And the reason why I did it was just because I knew it could help people and because I just was so passionate and loved it myself. And I think that's again like reminding myself of that is why I was able to kind of come out of that burnout and still keep grinding away. And I guess dissimilarly to you, I had a business partner for the first 5 years or something. Yeah, 6 years, I don't remember. And she was great, she was awesome, we had a great relationship, we still do, just her life went a different way, and that's fine, and, she left the company, and now I've been fully on my own for over a year now, and honestly, it's been great. I love it, like, I really do love it, it's been awesome. There's a lot of holes in the business that I've been able to fix, like, when she was becoming checked out, like, just some things weren't, like, I guess, being managed or run the best, so the business was losing money in certain areas, expenses were too high in certain ways, and, we're not doing the best financially as a gym, but then since I was able to take over and I really started diving into everything on my own, like, I was able to make things better. So for me, it's been great on my own, but I also have a great staff that I can trust and can delegate to, and I have people like Matt and Michelle and everyone else that's so, so incredible. So for you, you didn't have anyone, you were just fully on your own.
Yeah, I mean, I did have coaches who were actually really great and people who helped out, but yeah, it was too much for me to do this and the other things in my life. So, yeah. But no, I feel like I don't see the business side of things here at the Dexterity, but I see the community you've built and the people that show up here every day. It's incredible what you've built in Chase Tag and Ninja. So,
Thanks,
you've
Paul, I appreciate you, man.
yeah, you've come a long way.
It's crazy. It really is crazy to think about how far we've come from, like, me building obstacles in my backyard on sketchy trees with
On
nails and things.
I
To
saw the
the
video of you doing a STEM ladder on little tiny little trees when you were 12 or something.
Yeah, yeah, 11 or 12. So funny. Yeah, it's crazy to see how it's come, but I think for you or similar to you, like, obviously, you really value hard work and discipline, and for me, like, my family never had a lot of money growing up, and I've always had to work hard for the things that I've wanted. So, like, like, I had to buy my first actually, every car I've ever owned, I've had to buy myself, and I had to, like, I had to get a job, and I had to work and, work at a Subway. I worked at Subway to, like, save money to buy a car, and, like, I've always worked for what I've wanted, and I've kind of done that just continuously throughout. So, like, I think sometimes people are given too much from a young age, and they don't learn those values that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
And that's another problem is, like, you need to be able to teach people discipline, hard work, and how to push through adversity, really. I think it's important, but
Yeah, I think it's harder now though if you think of trying to get a job because it doesn't pay that well and expenses are so high. So like for
yeah.
anyone just trying to get a job, it's still I can see why you wouldn't be motivated to get a job.
Yeah, 100%, yeah. No, it makes sense. It makes sense. But you still have to do it, though. You should try to push yourself through it.
Yeah,
Something,
there's
whatever it
always
is.
something you can do. That's the thing. You can there's always a way
Yeah.
to get what you want or do what you want maybe
Mm. If you're willing to work for it, yeah, I agree. Like, if you're willing to
if
work
you're
for
willing
it,
to work for it.
100%, and that's the key. That's what we keep coming back to and talking about is that. So, yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy to see how everything's changed and developed. And yeah, I mean, again, you've been around since the beginning for us in Chase Tag here, and obviously we've been playing Chase Tag for a while now, and you've seen the sport grow as much as I have. And what are your thoughts on Chase Tag right now? I mean, obviously you're a professional athlete. We just hosted a comp this past weekend. We have Worlds coming up. What's it like being an athlete in this crazy new, very niche sport?
Yeah, it's super niche. Um I It's fun. It's a sport that I think I do for fun right now, so I don't take it too seriously. Obviously, I want to train so that I can perform well, but I treat it as something a fun hobby because we're not getting paid, so it has to be fun, or why would you do it, right? So it for me, it's fun, and I don't know where it's gonna go. I think that's something you might see a little more on your end of things of to where it's gonna go, but for me, I wanna I want it to be fun and I wanna be and winning is fun, so that's motivation to train because winning is as fun as it gets.
That is fair. Yeah. I mean, chase tag, what a sport. Yeah, I think it is important for athletes to just yeah, have fun with it right now for sure. Because at this point, the sport isn't developed enough for yeah, for you to be an athlete and make a living off it and all. But the thing is like if athletes like us don't put the time into it now, it's never gonna get to that point where it can anyway. So like we have to be willing to sacrifice our time and our money even to go to these events and make the sport be successful because without us, the sport just doesn't exist, obviously. But at the same time, like, yeah, it should just be fun. Like we are just doing it because we like doing it. And but that doesn't mean that one day it can't be successful. I think that one day it will be successful for sure. It's just gonna take more time. I think people need to be patient with it, is what I think. Um, but yeah.
Do you think Dana White listens to the podcast?
I wish yeah, if we had someone like Dana White get involved with Chase Tag, he'll definitely blow it up.
Yeah, because, I mean, this is way more exciting to watch
Nah, dude,
than Power
100. I
Slap, you
I
know?
agree.
And he has that company, I mean, if he's willing to buy that company or work with that company, why wouldn't he do something as fun as Chase Tag?
Anyone knows Dana White, please get him involved with Chase Tag.
Just give him a video or 2.
Yeah, right. Well, that's the thing about Chase Tag that I think is I mean, obviously, I've been involved in ninja and parkour for a long time, but I think what makes Chase Tag so special is, like, anyone can watch it, you know? Like, it's very simple. Like, you could be at a bar with your friends or at a restaurant with your friends, for that matter, and you could see Chase Tag on TV and fully understand what's happening. It's exciting, it's fun to watch. You don't need to be an expert to understand it, whereas with ninja, like, I feel like unless you're involved with ninja, there's so many things that happen that you just don't understand. Like when you see someone do like a crazy cane tech or bar tech or even a vertical limit for God's sake, like you don't understand how hard that is, how complicated it is to do those skills. Where it's like it's hard for viewers to understand. I think like, and I know some ninjas would disagree with that and be like, oh well, maybe they can tell, but no, they truthfully can't. You know, like unless you've done it yourself, you really don't know. Sure, it might look hard, it might look impressive, but you don't actually know how hard it is unless you do it yourself. But with chase tag, it's so easy to understand, just like fighting, just like boxing, UFC, mixed martial arts, anything. Like it's easy to understand. And I think because of that, chase tag has so much room to be huge one day for sure. I could literally see chase tag being in arenas with thousands of fans around watching it. Like it's super exciting to watch, especially in person. Like it's so fun.
It's so fun to watch in person and on TV, and it's even social media because it's fast. It's perfect for this era we're in because it's fast, it's short, it's quick, it's exciting. You know everything you want to see when you scroll on your phone.
100%. Yeah. And I mean, then like even the content speaks for itself. Like Roland and Redwan are doing a great job with their social media content. Honestly, I wish Chase Tag would be doing it themselves, quite frankly. But I mean, those two are pushing content so hard, and every video they post basically gets thousands of views, sometimes millions of, or over a million views. Like it is very viral. Chase Tag, it has that potential to really just pop off, and it has. And I think for us as athletes, we see the production that it was at, like with WCT 5 and 6 and all, and we kind of expect that. But my honest opinion is that I think Chase Tag maybe was too close to the sun when they started, if that makes sense. You know? Like they're building the sport from the ground up. The production was an amazing quality. Everything is amazing and still is, obviously. But I think because they had that such a high level image from the start, that it created expectations for athletes and for fans. And then because they don't have the infrastructure in place right now to continue that, that's why they've had some issues and why people and athletes have gotten upset. And, I think that's one of the reasons why. But what do you think?
Yeah, I also think that everyone who watches Chase Tag loves it. If you show people what Chase Tag is, they really love it. It's really exciting. So I don't know. Maybe it just needs to be pushed out. Maybe it just needs more time to get pushed out to people. But it does feel like it did take a step back when it stopped being on ESPN. Because now you won't see it being played in a sports bar when you walk in, or if you do see it, it's from it's a couple years old. Because I've seen Chase Tag quite a few times. This was a couple years ago when I'd walk into a sports bar, I would see it played. I saw the one time actually I saw us come on when I was in the bar. So
That's
we
awesome.
came
Yeah.
up and we competed. So that was really cool. But I don't see it as much anymore. So it does feel like it took a step back when it came off of ESPN, so that could get that
Yeah, I mean,
back
at least in
somehow.
America, right? Like, I understand probably ESPN's not as popular in overseas. Maybe it is. I don't know. I assume it's probably not, but I feel like what ESPN did is it gave it a platform that's recognizable and makes it be more official. Like, especially for people in the US, like when you see something on ESPN, it just has more value to it. Now, obviously, like I think it was on ESPN 8, which is a little more not like that, I guess, but still is on ESPN. And then it's also being on ESPN gives it a gateway to be on the more mainstream things. And it was. I'm pretty sure that like the finals were on ESPN 2, from what I remember, but I forget. But yeah, that was interesting. But I think the big thing is like you're right. It needs to get out there more. It's going to take more time, and I think that's important for people to understand. Is like it is just going to take time for this sport to grow up to pop off like that. But it already has to some extent, I guess. However, I think the biggest issue that Chase Tag is faced with is consistency. Like right now they're trying to like the quad talks is trying to push this narrative that like the reason why fans don't watch chase tags because there's no drama, there's no this or that. And I think that's false. I think that the main reason why fans leave is because there's not a consistent stream of events.
Mhm.
The last Worlds was 2 years ago. That's why your fans leave, not because there's not drama. The sport speaks for itself. It's exciting, it's fun to watch as we've been discussing. The problem is when there's an event every 2 years, of course fans are going to leave this. Like plus Chase Tag doesn't really even post that much themselves. So if you're following the Chase Tags account, they're not even posting that much. So of course your fans are going to leave. They're not going to be involved in watching it as much anymore. At least that's my opinion. But
Yeah, I mean, if you wanna talk about drama among the players in order to get the fans involved, I think something that would be even better is get the players' stories out there, get to know the players, and then your fans are gonna stay around, but then you obviously need to have that consistency that you talked about too. But I think more I still think, like, yeah, drama is cool, but if you get to know the players, that's gonna bring the fans in more than anything if you have a
100.
consistent schedule, but that's the first thing that needs to be, done is consistency because it's been 2 years. It's over a 2-year gap from one Worlds to the next, this past season, so fans are gonna check out, big time if they have nothing to watch for a couple years.
100%. And it's also like even from the last US championship, like we hosted the US championship here this like last July, and now Worlds is in June. So it's almost a year between when the US championship was to when Worlds is. And I understand that, they have stuff on their end and why things keep getting pushed back, but like I think Chase Tag as an organization needs to focus on consistency and not these other things like narratives or drama or this or that. Like, sure, those things will be important one day. I'm not saying that can be important ever, but I think right now the biggest problem we face is consistency for sure. Maybe people disagree with me. I'd love to chat, debate someone about that or talk about it, to be honest. But I think that's just the truth. I think if that's just to me, that's how it is.
So if people disagree with you, where can they reach you?
uh,
Email?
I mean, I'd rather talk about it like this, to be honest. I'm not really about the whole messaging back and forth on Instagram or WhatsApp. I'd rather just talk about it over the phone or, yo, come on the podcast, guys. That we have a great chat about it. But yeah, it's interesting for us to talk about it. I'm curious what other athletes will hear about this and think about it as well. Because I have talked to athletes, and the biggest frustration I've heard across the map is that consistency thing. Like, it's why so many teams have dropped off and stuff. And I think it's the biggest issue, man. And I think that, like, if we go back to more of a grassroots approach where, you know, I think, yeah, Worlds should still be this huge event, but we can easily have events every weekend at gyms throughout the world, quite frankly. Like, I feel like we can easily have that consistency, and it doesn't need to be a huge production every single time. Like, dude, like our last comp here, like we had one camera, it was on a tripod, we had graphics, like the graphics could have been better. I could have easily made them better if I wanted to, but that wasn't worth it in the amount of time we had to put it all together. And it looked great. Like, it looked just as great as anything else. And you don't it doesn't need to be this huge thing for these local qualifiers for now, you know? Like, I think one day all of these things can be huge production values and, that can all be there one day. But I think for right now, that just we need to go back to a more grassroots approach to grow things again. But
Yeah, consistent competitions like that would, and then with the way Roland takes videos and the way he edits the videos now is really cool. He can edit a match down to, well, the one he's working on recently is really cool. Where he, do you want to shout him out, the YouTube video he put
oh, of
out?
course, yeah. I mean, so Roland is obviously awesome. He's very creative, very innovative with his media content and stuff. And so he approached me before this most recent comp and had all these awesome ideas about content and different ways. And one of his ideas was to make longer form videos, match videos like how Chase Tag used to do, of each match from the comp. And so the content's awesome. If you guys haven't seen it yet, go check it out. It's on his channel. It's on our channel at Roland Hannigan, I think it is, and then obviously at Dexterity Depot. But they're sick, man. Like, they're really cool, and we're really trying to get those videos to pop off. And so if you haven't seen them yet, please go watch them. If you have seen them, thanks for the love, thanks for the support. Make sure to hit that like button.
But yeah, I think watching his edited versions of the videos of the games, the matches themselves is the best quality for one, and he it's edited perfectly where you see the replays of a tag happen, and the commentating is there. So I think follow he's gonna drop all the matches from day 2 on your most recent competition, the playoffs, and I think it's a great way to follow the it's almost better than watching the live stream version of it, or it's definitely better.
100%, yeah, 1000%, yes.
So
But even like but even us doing this really shows people that like how successful Chase Tag could be. Like, Chase Tag could be posting these videos that we're making. They could be posting these social media clips that like Roland's doing and Red One are doing. Like, they could be doing that. And I think that's what's going to lead to growth in the sport, personally, and consistency too. Like, if they're constantly putting out content like Roland and Red One are doing, it's just going to keep growing the sport. Like, again, like the content just speaks for itself. Like, there's so many views on Roland and Red One's content, and Red One's content. Like, Roland makes like the match reviews. Like, he has like the voiceover over the matches. A lot of Red One's content was literally just like a match, and it would get so many views. So again, like, Chase Tag speaks for itself. People, it doesn't need to have the drama at this time. I think one day, sure, of course, that's gonna add value, but you need to have fans that have been following the sport for a while for the drama to matter in the first place. Like, if you're trying to get new fans involved in the sport, and it's about the drama. They don't care about the drama because they don't know anything yet. But you need to create a consistent event schedule, create consistent competitions, and then once you have this audience, then yeah, you got to give them more to keep them coming back, and that's where the drama comes in. I think it's not the initial draw; it's what keeps them back after they've already been invested in the sport.
yeah, and how can there be drama if the US team always wins anyway?
They're gonna soundbite that and use it at Worlds, guarantee.
That's what I was hoping for.
Oh my god, they do love that though, bro. Like the whole croissant thing, they still use that. And they say it wrong too. It's like, Oh my god, they really loved that thing. This all because I saw a meme on Instagram about the UFC, and then they just took what I said and ran with it.
Yeah, whatever. Dude, you gotta be careful what you say because it might stick around for years.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it's funny. It's all in good fun, but I remember, like, how upset people were getting because we said that, and, like, but J-Stack loved it. They're like, "Oh my god, yeah, someone's finally talking crap." Like, oh my
Yeah,
god.
you said one line, just one line in the interview, in the whole interview,
Yep.
and they used that for years to come,
They
and
ran with
not
it.
only that, but there was other teams that actually got upset. I think the French team
They did get upset. It's
got
so funny.
upset.
Honestly, thinking back to, like, in the moment, I was a little upset too because I was like, "Man, like, I don't want them to think we're assholes, like, we're literally I was just it was all for good fun, like, it was all for, being silly." And I took it very seriously. I was like, "Oh my god, this is crazy." But looking back on it, it's just funny how upset they did get.
You
It is so
you should
funny.
explain what the line was, because if people are watching this, they might not know
Yeah,
what we're talking about.
that's a good point. Yeah, so basically, they do interviews for teams, like, during chase tag major chase tag events and stuff, and so
This is before
before Worlds,
before
yeah.
we competed at the World
Yep, and
Championship.
they were, like, asking various questions, and they kinda wanted you like, you could tell by the way they were asking the question, they wanted you to, like, talk smack, and so,
Yes.
like, months before we were at Worlds, Dustin Poirier fought, God, what's his name? Saint Denis.
Don't
Anyway,
matter, it was just a
that
Frenchman.
exactly, really good Frenchman too, he's a great fighter. But then and he Dustin was getting beat the whole fight, then Dustin ended up coming back and winning that fight, and I saw a meme online where it was like, "Wow, Dustin really knocked the croissants out of that guy," and I thought it was hilarious. So I posted in our group chat, and I was like, "Guys, this is what we're about to do to the French at Worlds." And so then there was, like, a moment where Dan asked me a question during the interview, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, like, blah, 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 the French are great, they're awesome, but we're gonna knock the croissants out," or something like that, and then they just, like, lost their minds and loved it for some reason.
Yeah, and it was funny because the interview, they asked, I don't know how most of their questions they ask are softball questions for you to talk shit on another team. Because they'll be like, which team do you think does not deserve to be here? And this is for the world championship. So they want you to talk shit on other teams. And then they'll ask similar questions about, uh, you know, giving you plenty of opportunity to talk crap on other teams and other players. 'Cause so you gave them one line and they ran with it and everyone was talking about it for the next couple years. It's been 2 years, we still don't hear the end of that one.
It's so funny. Yeah, they're fiends for drama, bro, I swear. They they really do try to get us to talk smack, but, like, not many of us are like that. It's like, it's not even like, we're like, that's just not how it is with athletes, or at least right now, you know?
But
Uh,
in the chase tag community now, it does people look at our team like we're full of ourselves and we talk smack on other
you
teams.
think so?
Well, it kind of seemed that way
At least
after
for yeah.
Worlds, at least for a little while. I think when people actually know us, they know better,
Mm.
but, um for the people that don't know us and hear that line and hear what the announcers are saying that we said, then they all think that we're a shit talking team.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
true.
Roland does the
Oh, yeah.
it didn't help that we go out and play the French the very first game and Roland gritties on a guy when he landed on his head. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, that's
you should
fair.
clip that video in of Roland grittying.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that clip yet, it's pretty funny, but again, like, yeah, if you see those things out of context, it looks bad, but Roland had no idea that Loic fell like that. Like, he was obviously behind him when it or Roland was in front of him when it happened, so he was hitting the gritty because that was one of his goals for the comp was to, like, do it, like, in a chase, and it was a good opportunity, but he had no idea Loic, like, literally fell on his head before that, you know what I mean? So but obviously, yeah, if you see just that clip, you think, yeah, Roland just, like, showboating, but he had no idea that
Yeah.
he felt like that, so
Yeah, because in the video, Loic, the Frenchman, dives over the front line, lands on his head, and, like, twists his neck. He looked like he almost broke his neck, and then it pans to Roland hitting the gritty,
Yeah. Oh my
on him, basically.
Yep, yep. Which
Um,
Loic is a tank for that one, by the way. That man, dude, like, first of all, I think he's older. He's an older athlete, but he has got up and kept playing. Like, that guy is an animal for that. Shout out to Loic, bro.
yeah,
That
and
guy's
then
a
he comes
monster.
back in the same match and wins
Oh,
against
yeah, I
Roland.
forgot about that. Yeah, that was wild. Oh my god. Yeah, maybe we can talk about what it's like that because that competition, man, like it's funny, we were we said that I said that one-liner for the French thing, and obviously we lost to every French team we played, which is so funny. But, yeah, I mean, like, yeah, we did not Worlds was tough for us last year, man. We really just, we're not at our best, and there's no excuse, that's how sport is sometimes, but we got beat, man. I mean, they were all close games. I would say that our matches were amongst, like, the most fun to watch. Like, that first match against Urban Core Mamba was, like, so exciting. That match was awesome. Like, that was such an intense match, and your match with Kimya was awesome too. Like, I feel like those 2 matches were probably some of my favorite matches of the entire competition. So, it's cool that we're always involved in these sick competitive matches, but it sucks we're always the losing team.
I mean, it was our first time at a big that level competition too, so we were still very new to that type of competition on that level. I think you might see a different version of us this year,
I would agree.
hopefully.
I know we will. Yeah, I feel like every comp we've done, at least one person from our team has not shown up. But I feel like our team does have the potential to go out there and win this year if we can all put it together. And obviously that's much easier said than done. And I don't think people understand how talented our team actually is. And like it's all around. Like everyone's just so skilled and explosive and fast. And I really think that we could go out this year and have it be a contenders to win. I feel like most people would disagree. I feel like most people would think, oh, like Hollywood's a contender, Parkour 59, Eugen. I don't know. What other big contenders do you think there are at Worlds this year?
I mean, I also think Rooftop Kings is pretty good,
Oh yeah, Rooftop Kings,
but
duh, yeah.
similar to us, the majority of the people or competitors or even the community doesn't think so because they haven't really done anything yet they haven't really competed yet except for their competition, which they won at their gym, but they haven't played at Worlds yet and done all those competitions, which is probably why they're a little overlooked. But we as competitors, when we play them, we know what level they're at the top level too. So I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned.
For sure, yeah.
Eugen, Rooftop Kings, Parkour 59, Hollywood, of course,
Mhm.
defending champs. They're still number one until you still got to treat them as number one until they lose because they are the number one. So
Yep.
they get to be there for as long as they have
Yeah,
that title.
they have some new players like Grant. Grant's awesome. I love Grant. He's such a nice guy. He's super cool. And then
Jared,
yeah, Jared. Yeah, Jared's on
is
the
that
team.
out there?
It is, yeah. But I don't who knows if he's going to. I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen with that one. But then because supposedly Jason's playing for call, remember? So like, but who knows if that's gonna happen or not? Like, I guess we'll find out at Worlds.
Also, Carson at
Oh
Hollywood
yeah,
is
Carson's I love
insane.
another awesome
He's
guy.
so good.
He's so good. I love hanging out with Carson too. He's so funny. I'll
Yeah.
never forget the moments at the old house that we used to rent where he would stay over and we would do some hilarious stuff with a particular item. you know, throwing a particular item at a fridge. That was always good times. Anyway, he's gonna laugh when he hears that one, probably.
Oh yeah.
Oh god, but yeah, the chase tag community is awesome, man. I feel like we get along with everybody. I mean, especially now that we've gone to more international events, I feel like we've gotten a lot closer with most of the community and most of the athletes. Um, like I feel like we're all just in good faith trying to grow this sport together. And there might be some, you know, issues people have with each other here and there, but it's all stupid for the most part. I think it's people being immature typically.
Who do you like the least?
Oof. Man,
Player.
that's a good question. You're really trying to get me to out myself.
Yeah,
Now Paul's trying to
we're
start the
trying to
drama.
start some drama here.
I don't know, man. I'll think about that one. Maybe by the end of the podcast, I'll be able to think about it and have an answer. Do you like the one the least? Who do you like the least?
The player I like the least in World Chase Tag is that guy from Eugen named Sam. He's a tall guy, talks a lot of smack. He's got blue eyes. Hate that guy.
Paul does not hate Sam. I'm just gonna say that he loves Sam actually.
We spent a night in the hot tub together.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
just recently too. He was at my house.
Now Paul has a deep-seated love for Sam. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, I feel like some people would come on here and be like, "Oh yeah, I hate this person and that person." It's like, Brad, I kind of don't mind anybody. There's some people that definitely annoy me at times, I guess, but
Yeah,
I
you
don't
want to
know.
name any?
You're really trying to start this drama, Paul. I'm gonna let others do that. I'm gonna pass on that for now.
Okay.
I'll come. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
You'll tell me off camera.
Yeah, off camera, we'll say. I think you already know anyway. It's fine. We've already kind of discussed it at times, but it's fine. We don't need to do that. Everyone's really gonna be thinking about it now. This is gonna start like a thing online. It's like, oh well, who are they talking about? Even just saying that's gonna start something, which is hilarious. Chase Tag, dude, they're fiends for drama. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna flip it because why not? Who do you like the most? That's not our team. Uh,
Maybe it's the same guy.
I think it is the same guy for you. Everyone's great, man. I really like what Red One's doing with the content. We talked about it a little bit earlier. I also love what Dave's doing from UGen. I mean, he has like multiple parkour gyms he owns. He's pushing like the Chase Tide Academy stuff. He's doing great stuff. I really respect that guy a lot. I wish he was on the podcast when he was here for the comp. I would have loved to have sat down and talked with him. But so Dave, if you're listening, bro, we gotta get on that, man. I really do respect you. I'd love to chat with you about some stuff. It'd be a lot of fun. Yeah, I think everyone is just awesome all around for the most part.
I think you should have Red One on too.
I'd love to have Red One on. Red One, you too, brother. You're also a great guy. Yeah, there's so
He
many people we gotta
yeah,
talk to.
he's very passionate about chase tag. He's has his own gym too, his own quad, and yeah, he's a real one for sure.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, I think I would like for us quad owners or gym owners in Chase Tag to maybe start a Discord or something where we can all communicate and chat more because I feel like we're the ones that are actually gonna be pushing this sport to this next level. Without us, obviously, it doesn't really exist. And so many of us have gotten quads now across the world now, and it's just like cool to see the growth. And a lot of that is because of Loic, like Loic has really been a huge driver in Chase Tag. And without him, I don't think this sport would be where it is. Like he is incredible. And I think Loic gets a lot of hate sometimes, but Loic's great, man. He really has done so much for the sport. And I think obviously everyone has areas they can improve on, myself included. But I think for the most part, overall, I love the work that Loic has done. I think he's been a huge, huge force in pushing Chase Tag forward. But yeah.
He kind of sucks at riding the mechanical bull though.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, Loic, come back over here, bro. We gotta get you on more bulls, brother. We gotta get you on mechanical bull.
He did pretty good though.
No, he did good.
I
Yeah,
mean, he probably did better than me actually.
which is surprising,
I
Mister
know.
Country line dancing expert guy.
I was used to riding the real live bulls.
Oh,
I could
that's your
put both.
excuse, huh?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's funny. Yeah, but I don't. People probably don't know that about you. You're a seasoned line dancing veteran.
Oh, it's just one of my fun hobbies is I love to line dance, and I guess that's it. Yeah, line dance and swing dance. I love to dance. I love music and dance. So
Paul is quite the
um,
dancer. Ooh,
you'll see me dancing almost every weekend, if not twice a week
twice a
sometimes.
week is crazy. Yeah,
Yeah,
really talented man. This Paul Fisher is.
it's very good chase tag training because
That makes sense. Can you explain that though?
I mean I'm being funny when I say that, but
Oh, I thought you were being serious.
not when I said very good. I was being funny. But it's oops. Um, you are moving a lot, so you're moving your feet, and I think just moving, running, or anything in general will help you in chase tag. Just like parkour will help you. But it's just good exercise. You're out there exercising for a couple hours, so in that way, I think it um helps you in chase tag. Just simply the fact that you're moving and exercising, and you're not just sitting on the couch. So
What do you think is like the best potential cross trainer for chase tag? Like sport to train that can cross train for tag.
I loved. I still think for me, it's always been CrossFit.
Yeah,
If
that
I do
makes sense.
CrossFit regularly, if I'm doing CrossFit regularly, tag, chase tag feels easy or way easier than if I'm not doing CrossFit regularly. So find a local CrossFit gym,
Yeah, that's fair. For
join the
me,
classes.
for me, it's I have a background in combat sports, and yeah, I feel like I've obviously studied mixed martial arts for a long time. I've been watching the UFC since I was a small child. 'Cause my brother was My brother was a fighter. He's had 3 amateur fights in the octagon, and, it's been a part of my life from a very, very young age, and I feel like my background in that and understanding of that helps me with tag because I think chase tag is kind of a version of a combat sport. Obviously, it's like the fight versus flight response, so it's very different because 'cause you're just a flight response versus fight, but the things you look for when you're playing chase tag are very similar, I think, to striking in a lot of ways. Understanding distance management, timing, angles is really important in tag. I think I have an understanding of that through mixed martial arts, which I think helps me. And also, it's similar to grappling too, because you're setting traps. You're thinking long term. It just happens very quickly because the chase is only 20 seconds. But there is so much strategy and tactics to tag that makes it a special game. So for me, I think like having a combat sports background is is important, and actually, that's why I'm interested to see if Jared does play how Jared's gonna do now that Jared has this, like, in-depth understanding of all those things that I said, but that's my opinion.
No, I think like what you just said is very good for the mental side of chase tag and for the mindset you should have. When I said CrossFit, it was more the physical. Like
Mm,
that'll be CrossFit helps to be you do a little bit of strength training, a little bit of conditioning, cardio, and overall get your body in a tougher shape. So I feel like the conditioning, how you're always tired after one evasion or you get the tag and get one evasion, everyone's always breathing heavy. I think that conditioning, but you can get your conditioning any other way too. But for me, I thought CrossFit helps a lot for the physical aspect of it. But
yeah.
then you said the your thing was more the mental, I think.
Yeah, more mental and just I think reaction time even too, because, like, when you're reacting to someone throwing a kick or a punch, it's obviously way quicker than, like, someone doing a juke or diving at you with an obstacle, so it's easier for me, for example, to spot when those things are happening because it's way more fast-paced and I think difficult with striking than it is with chase tag.
Yeah, but then at the end of the day, the best training is still on the
Oh,
quad
100%. I
with
mean, it's
somebody
it's like
else
any sport, right? Like,
sparring.
yeah, being on the quad is the best way to train, period. I mean, we can talk about training for chase tag, I guess now we're kind of diving we just that was a good segue into that, I guess, but I think with most sports, like, people used to argue back in the day, like, what was the best way to train for ninja, and it was like, it's always just been doing ninja. Like, people were like, "Oh, it's climbing. Oh, it's parkour." No, it's just doing ninja. Like, that's always what it's been. I think cross training is important in some sports, for sure. I think in ninja particularly, obviously, I have a lot of experience and knowledge with this. I think parkour and climbing are great ways to cross train for ninja. This is slightly different, but I think having a gymnastics background is probably the best fundamental position to have while starting ninja, to be honest, because you have understanding of so many different mechanics, body mechanics and things. But
Your body awareness.
body awareness, your strength you develop, the pulling, the swinging, it's all the skills are very translatable to ninja. However, if you're going to cross train, I think rock climbing and parkour are just the best for ninja, just period. But yeah, with chase tag, I feel like any sort of athletic background where you're cutting or running or juking is going to help you a lot. You know what I mean? Like if you can I remember one of our teammates had trouble understanding jukes when we first started to show him because he didn't really have a background in sports like maybe I had or Aaron had in particular. But I feel like having an understanding of those things, whether it's football, sorry, American football, you Europeans, or
You bitches.
yeah, you can say it, it's fine, um, or like yeah, like American football or regular football, soccer, as we Americans call it. Any sport like that is helpful, and also just like yeah, like you're saying, like CrossFit, sprinting from track and field, any of those things would probably help as well. And obviously having a parkour background. However, I guess this is slightly switching topics again. Sorry, everybody. Like people would say, like you needed parkour to do chase tag, but I strongly disagree. I think chase tag has become its own unique discipline, and you didn't have any parkour experience before you started chase tag,
Mm-mm.
and you're good at chase tag. You know what I mean? Like I think you need fundamental techniques from parkour, and obviously parkour is a great way to cross train for chase tag. I think parkour is the number one best way to cross train for chase tag, but it's still not like chase tag is its own unique thing for sure now.
And it'll be that way more and more in the future when you get people who start training chase tag as their sport. Just like ninja 10 years ago, wasn't that many gyms. That's why people were asking, is it rock climber? Is it a
100%. Yeah.
gymnast that's going to be the best ninja? Because you didn't have ninja gyms all over the world like you do now. And now it's what was your background? Because everyone used to ask, "What was your background?" Because you had to have some kind of background because it wasn't ninja. Now you ask any of the top ninjas, "What was your background?" And they'll say, "Ninja. I
Exactly.
grew up doing ninja."
Yeah, they grew up in a gym, they grew up going to yeah, that's 100% right, man, like, that's
So
yeah, I
World
mean
Chase Tag is gonna be that too. Another guy who's at the top level and didn't do parkour. Well, I was gonna say Dan from Rooftop Kings or Don. Um, he just started with chase tag, and then he trained with Dave and the other Gen guys who are really good, and he got his training through them just doing chase tag.
Mm,
And Kai is also really good. He might have done a little bit of parkour, but not that much.
yep.
So you're starting to see that more too. People, even Gabe from Hollywood, I don't think he did parkour.
I don't know, I'd have to ask him, I'm
But
not sure, yeah.
there you already see players who can compete or are competing at the top level who don't have a parkour background. You just come in and learn the techniques on the quad, and you can. That's what you're going to see more and more in the future, I think.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. Yeah, I feel like the best way to train for tag, going back to that, is just yeah, just getting on a quad. Like if you're a new player and you want to get involved in chase tag or someone who is a fan, the best way to get involved is go to a gym that has a quad and start training. I think that's. I mean, that's what do you think?
Yeah, for of course, 100%. If you don't train on the quad, you can be the best athlete in the world, but you're going to get smoked by somebody on the quad who has experience on the quad. It doesn't
100%.
matter how fast you are or how athletic you are. You're not going to beat somebody who has experience on the quad.
It's and yeah, no
It's
chance.
great. You won't even get close, actually.
Yeah, and people, it's funny because a little while back, one of my friends, she was dating like a football player, and like they were talking about chase tag, and he was the football players. Oh, I could easily like beat them. Like, no, you couldn't. We wouldn't even come
It's not
close.
even close.
It's not even close. Like if you don't, and that's what makes chase tag again. It's like it's a professional sport. Like if you, there's a very clear difference between people who any athlete just gets involved, whether they're professional athlete in some other sport or not, versus an actual chase tag athlete. Like it's just night and day. It's the
Yeah.
same thing if like you were like you never wrestled before, you're trying to wrestle like a professional or collegiate level wrestler, like of course you're gonna get absolutely manhandled. Or like same with like BJJ or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Like if you never grappled before, you try to go against someone that's a black belt, you're gonna get strangled every time
Yeah.
and be made to look like an infant, literally.
Even if you're stronger than that person,
Exactly. It
but
does not matter.
in JSAG, even if you're faster than me, you won't you won't have a chance if you don't know the obstacles because we know the ins and outs of every obstacle. We know exactly where to juke and where to stop
Yep.
and where to take off and how to brush you off, how to throw the chaser off. So
100%. Like I literally could probably almost walk and tag most person's first time on the quad easily, I
easily.
think. Yeah.
I usually I like to say when somebody's trying it, I'll tell them like you won't last. I'll tag you within 5 seconds, like easily every time. And if you try to chase me, you won't tag me. You could spend an hour and you wouldn't tag me. That gets people fired up
Oh,
because
yeah.
it sounds like you're saying that they're not athletic, but like I think that's true. I would tag anybody first time on the quad. I think I would tag them within 5 seconds.
That's bold. We gotta go start bringing out pro athletes to see if Paul can tag him in less than 5 seconds or less.
5 seconds is actually
Less
maybe
than 10.
well easily less than 10
Easily less
is
than 10, yeah.
let's say 10 out of 10, 10 tries. It'll always be under 10 seconds.
Bold. Okay, anybody who wants to come try chase tag and try to evade Paul first time on the quad, we're calling you. Pro athletes, Olympic athletes, come out on the quad and challenge Paul Fisher.
And then and then you have a minute to tag me
A minute. Wow, he's giving you guys extra time too. That's crazy. Good luck.
and you won't do it.
I guarantee you're not gonna do
They
it.
won't tag me in a minute.
I actually had this idea. I would love to
That would be
film.
fun. That would be fun for fun to film too.
That's what I was about to say. Like, I think
Yeah.
I would love to film a video where we like invite out professional athletes from other sports onto the quad and just see if they can like, yeah, try to evade or tag like tag one of our team members.
We'll give him at least I'll give him a full minute to tag me
That's wild statement.
cuz I feel like I could go an hour without getting tagged. You know what I'm saying? Cuz I could walk half the time.
Oh my god. All right, we gotta make this happen. If anyone knows any professional athlete that's nearby Camp Hill, Pennsylvania, send them our way, please.
Or anywhere you can fly in. There's a
Oh, Paul really is asking for it.
let's get Olympic sprinters out here.
Dude, I would love that. I always say as a joke, I'm always like, you could put Usain Bolt against me on the quad. I'm gonna tag him and evade him every single time. Like
Every
every
time you
time.
would. Yeah. I think Usain Bolt is fat now.
Oh my god.
I think he's out of shape. I think I saw a video of him recently, and he was like, you wouldn't know it's Usain Bolt anymore.
Now Paul's calling out Usain Bolt.
Just watch him. He has the money. He could show up whenever he wants. I think that would be the best.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Watch him come out and just become like a professional tag athlete like the first day. Like
Hey, if he tags me within that minute, I'll give it to him.
That's fair. Oh my god, that is so funny. Yeah, I would love to film a video like that one day. We need to get Chase Tag big enough where we can do fun stuff like that.
Yeah, but this is people from that have no quad experience. You can't have quad experience and then come and say, and then those rules don't count. It's somebody who has never been on a quad.
Yeah, I
Like
agree.
we'll tag you under 10 seconds every time, 10 out of 10 tries, and you will never tag us within a minute.
Dude, that's let
and-
alone 20 seconds.
Yeah,
That's true.
that's the challenge for
Well,
everyone who watches this.
Did you did you see the show on Netflix? It was like the Japanese game show where they had like a chase tag thing in the show. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
It was basically
You
like
asking me if I've seen?
yeah, I should know the Amish guy's not going to watch TV. Sorry, everybody. But wait, no. So, you ever heard of Physical 100?
Oh yeah, I
Okay,
did.
so it was kind of like that, but like a Japanese version. It was like a game show where they had on multiple athletes from different sports, professional athletes, baseball player, or whatever, and they had them all on, and they had various challenges, kind of like Physical
What's
100.
it called?
I forget what it's called.
Okay. Sorry, I just interrupted. You can
No,
continue.
I really wish I had someone to look that up for me right now. Yeah, I forget what it's called. Man, what is it called? Now I'm actually annoyed. Anyway, but it's good. It's a good show. And one of the challenges they had like a chase tag part of it, and essentially they had to like, I think they had to evade. They had to evade a tag athlete, and it wasn't a real quad. Like it was smaller. It was condensed. It was a quad, but it was condensed for sure. It was missing some parts, so it wasn't a full quad. And the Japanese athlete they had that did it wasn't like a chase tag athlete. He was a parkour athlete. He tagged everybody every single time, easily. And he's not even a professional tag athlete by any means. And he crushed all of them. It was so funny to watch. And also the funny thing is he got no rest. Like they would literally like send the next person immediately, basically. At least that's what it looked like on TV. I'm not sure what the production value was, obviously, and things, but he got them every single time. And he wasn't even a pro tag athlete. So like I think that is the telltale, like that is the indicator right there.
Dude,
you
it
know?
would be so easy. You could just feed me one after the next. I would just tag them like nothing.
Every time, yeah, every time.
You would too. Like any chase tag athlete would just
Yes.
mow them down.
I wouldn't even have to try. Like straight up, I'd probably walk most of the time, to be honest. Like whenever I go against the kids, sometimes the gym, I just literally walk, and I still tag them in less than 10.
I kind of understand why people think we talk a lot of shit now. Because if you heard the last 10 minutes of this, that's all we've been doing.
That's all we've been doing. It's all for good fun, people. Obviously, like we're just having fun. Paul and I are good friends, but it is true though. To be fair,
It's true, but it's also fun. It's fun to destroy people.
People are seeing a different side of you. I swear. We went from talking about like hard work and the value of that to now you talking about crushing everybody on the quad. Oh my god.
Just newbies though. Don't give me an experienced chase tag. Well, we'll compete.
Yeah.
We'll compete at Worlds with the experienced guys.
Correct. But yeah, this whole point of this conversation was to try to explain how chase tag is a professional sport, and it's clear to tell the difference between an actual professional tag athlete and some scrub off the street. That's all.
Yeah, it's like I'm not gonna go into a baseball field and be like to somebody who plays baseball and be like, try and strike me out. You know, I'm hitting this ball because I'm not gonna hit that ball.
Correct. That's a great analogy. Oh, 100%. Or like, yeah, like you're getting in the octagon with like a professional UFC fighter. Think you're gonna stand a chance, you idiot. Like, no.
No, like
People
I'm
are-
not delusional.
Like 100%. Like it's so funny that people think that this is like people think that they because they're big and strong, they can beat a professional fighter in a fight when they have no idea what the hell they're doing. Like that person's understanding of distance, timing, everything is just so beyond your capability. Sure, anyone can knock someone out with one punch, but the thing is because they're so skilled, you're not even gonna get even close to do that. Like, what? Like, that's not how it works. Like, oh my god. It's so funny people think that. They don't understand how fighting actually works, but
It's usually the people who have no experience in fighting think they have a chance,
correct.
whereas as soon as you start training, you realize how little you know, or
Correct.
how little of a chance you stand against anyone.
Yep.
And it's the same thing in chase tag. As soon as somebody comes on the quad, they'll understand how little their skills matter if they don't have a knowledge of the obstacles and the techniques.
100%, yeah. So so aside from obviously coming to a gym and training chase tag, let's say someone doesn't have a quad near them, what would be your recommendation to them to get involved?
Oh, if they don't have a quad,
Yes, because I mean, right now, for
yeah.
example, if you're in the US, there are only 4 quads. There's Movementum, in San Francisco, there's Nix in Georgia, there's us in PA, and then we have the quad that's in Texas, but right now I think it's taken down, but they're gonna have it indoor soon, so shout out to them at Rise. And there's also the quad in Colorado, but it's not an official quad. So there are 4 quads right now. So they're very spread out. So obviously, if you're someone who's not near one, you're not gonna. It's you have to travel. So if you're, let's say you're 16 years old, you don't have the money to travel somewhere. What would you be your suggestion for them to get involved in chase tag?
Damn. You mean how to train for it without or get involved?
Both, I guess. Right?
Yeah. Well,
Both.
to get involved, first of all, watch videos of the most recent chases, the most recent matches, and then study the technique of the chaser. Don't worry about the evader for now, and understand how to get the tags. Understand the setups because you start to see a pattern, and there's all kinds of names that we name things, but you're not going to know those. So just understand the pattern on how to set up each trap. You're going to start to see a pattern of, if you're watching Chase Tag, you see we jump up on Tiger by the tilted cube. That's a prime example. Um, and if you listen to the commentating, you'll hear them talk about those things, those setups, and the obstacle names. But I would study as much as possible and break down things that the chaser is doing on how he's setting up his traps. Because as a chaser, you need to set up traps, and then that's how you're gonna make your tags. You set up traps in each corner, or even sometimes on the rundown. So definitely study, and then get yourself in physically fit by doing anything with cardio or running or cuts or all the above. Um, CrossFit, parkour, something physically, but then most important is to study, watch the videos and
I
study.
agree. That's how we got into it, right? Like we didn't have a quad when we first started, and I spent so much time studying videos and stuff before quad started popping up in the US. And as far as the physical side of things, you can easily set up like a makeshift quad, right? Like
Mhm.
if there's a parkour gym near you or not, even a playground, you can just experiment, have fun, and just practice playing tag. Like it's literally just tag at the end of the day. So you can easily just go somewhere and try things. So many of us start without having a quad, so that's it's
Yeah,
possible.
we started like that with in a parkour setting where we just practice get a couple friends out and practice tag in a setting with obstacles. It can be completely different than what's on the main quad, but just practicing with obstacles because we even did. I remember we even did a competition in Maryland.
Oh
Remember?
yeah, DC. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Urban Evolution. Yep.
Where it was early on and they didn't have a quad, so they just set up a in their parkour section, they set made a little arena and we
Yep.
played tag in
Yep.
it.
Yeah, it's super. I feel like it's easy. Like it's we're obviously saying that you need to have a quad to be a professional athlete or take it seriously for sure. But if you're just trying to get involved, anyone can do it. It's just playing tag. Yeah, there's obstacles. Yeah, there's strategy. But if you're just anyone can go outside and play tag.
Yeah.
Just it's pretty easy, I'd say.
Try to keep the rules the same though,
Yeah.
because you have 20 seconds to make the tag, and if you make the tag, you stay in and the next person chases you. There's a 25-second rest in between. And then if you evade, you stay in and another person chases you. You stay in until you get tagged. Um, but yeah, definitely stick to the rules and set up obstacles however you want. It's
Mhm.
a good way to do it.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like, and again, anyone can really get involved in it, which is another thing that makes chase tag so special and why it could be so, so big and popular because you don't really need anything to get involved. Again, if you're just to clarify again, obviously, if you're trying to take it seriously, yes, you need a quad. But I think this year alone, there's been so many more quads that have popped up. I forget the exact number. Loic was telling me a while back, but like it's because of the work he's doing and obviously everyone else involved at HQ. But it's growing more and more, so, there's bound to be a quad near you someday if you don't have one now.
Most of those new quads are outside of the states, though.
Correct, yeah, most of the quads right now are in Europe, and various other places, but there's only, like I said, 4 official ones in the States right now, so but that's how Ninja started too, and now there are hundreds of Ninja gyms all over the country, probably over 1,000 by now.
And world.
And the world, there's thousands probably, yeah, so that's how it is, it's still a it's still a new developing sport, and, I know I'm grateful to be involved in it now, that's why I obviously invested in buying a quad myself at the gym, and I've spent a lot of money on chase tag.
Chase yeah, you did. But chase tag, I think, has way more potential than ninja to be in the Olympics too. I mean,
I
I
agree,
know
yeah.
ninja is maybe a little bit in there, but chase tag is so entertaining to watch. Um, that and it would be the perfect it would be the perfect Olympic sport.
I agree. It really would be. It really would be.
Maybe you can I don't think I'll be competing because it's definitely not gonna be in this next one, right? That's in
No.
LA,
Yeah,
which it
so
should be.
that would be sick, but
Damn.
that's too quick of a turnaround probably. But yeah, I mean, you just said that, and I assume that's because obviously you're on the older end. How old are you again?
Yeah.
36?
26.
You're you wish.
Yeah, 36.
Yeah, so people don't know that about you too, is you're also older, you know? Like, I'm not sure how many years you have left in tag, but maybe that's something we can talk about for sure. I think it's important is you're obviously 36, you're still a professional athlete in your sport. What's it like being older and still being involved at this high level in a sport?
Yeah, I don't even think about I really don't notice any difference. Um, I think this sport in particular is one that has a longer lifespan because you're not you're not as hard on your body, and it's more just, um, taking care of your body and being able to move. That's the bottom line is can you move your body? Can you be healthy and move your body? So I think that's why because you have some players that are in their 40s playing,
Mhm, mhm.
um, whereas maybe the UFC is a little different where it's more than just moving your body, it's also strength because maybe your strength maybe you're I still feel like I'm very much peak.
I think you are. I mean, they say most fighters peak in their, like, 30s, like, mid-30s, early 30s, so, like, I think there's no reason why you couldn't be a serious athlete still into your 40s even for you. I think a lot of it comes down, like, for so long when I was younger, I remember people saying, "Oh, once you get to 30, like, your body starts shutting down, you lose all your strength," but, like, I think you and Mike are both examples of no, like, you're both older, you're both still highly competitive, highly strong and talented, like, I feel like age is just a number a lot of times, especially now we know so much about proper recovery and nutrition and all these things and sleep and how it impacts your performance. Like because sports science has developed so much, you can be a more serious athlete later in life easily.
A little longer than we than used to. It used to be as soon once you hit 30, you were well, it still probably seems like you're old once you hit 30 to anyone who's not 30. But if you take care of yourself, you don't even feel any worse. You feel just as good, if not better.
Mm,
That's how it's been the case for me. If I keep a consistent gym schedule, I feel better than I ever have. And even lifting, I can lift as much as I ever did. But
wow.
maybe I didn't train that hard in my 20s either. Maybe I could have lifted more if I would have been really consistent in the gym back then. So who knows? But in chase tag, it's not about how heavy you can lift or even how fast you can run. As long as you can go pretty fast and have an understanding of the game and the quad, um, I think, and then as long as you can move your body well, I think you can play the sport pretty long.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I'm only 28, so I obviously have more time than you do in theory, depending on how chase tag develops and stuff. And maybe one day I'll still get a chance to play at a high level if it gets to the Olympics or something. But
Yeah,
either way, we're at a point now where we're developing it so that way future athletes can do those things we're talking about, which I think
yeah,
is
exactly.
like we have so many kids at the gym that are training chase tag and are going to be absolute animals one day. And I think people need to this again, a message to athletes, I guess, is like you might not see the benefits now yourself, but you are at a point where you are literally the person that is setting the foundation for all future athletes in a sport that's new, which is huge. And I think that like instead of thinking about it like, "Oh, I'm not receiving these benefits or I don't get paid or whatever," like, no, no, no. You're doing this because you love it, because it's fun, and because you are the one setting the foundation to help others in the future benefit, and that's why it's worth it. Because without you, it doesn't exist. So I think all athletes need to do that or have that mindset. That's my opinion at least.
Yeah, imagine like down the road, it's a huge sport and really popular in the Olympics, and you can feel like you had a part in that, you know?
Exactly. You can look back and be like, "Wow, I was one of the first athletes that got involved in this crazy worldwide known sport." You know what I mean? And I think people just they make it about them, you know? They just really like, "Oh, I want these benefits right now." What's the old commercial was like, "It's my money and I want it now," or whatever, you know what I mean? Like it's like, guys, like it's like, guys, like no, like it's a new sport. Also, like I think people need to give Chase Tag grace as far as an organization because they are understaffed. It's only like 4 people that run the entire thing essentially. Obviously, there's more than that, but that's not much, like the 4 of them really. And, they're doing their best, you know? And, again, I think that they definitely do make mistakes at times, and I have opinions on how they can improve some things, but ultimately, they are doing their best, and I think people should appreciate the work that has been done so far, so
Yeah, the one opinion you have, which I think is we were just talking about this recently, is the points. I love that there's you earn points when you win. You earn 3 when you win, 2 when you win a sudden death, and 1 when you lose a sudden death. But then all the rankings are based on how many points you have
yeah, so
versus your record.
yeah, I can talk about it.
Give the example of why it should be changed because
Yeah,
of
so
Kimio.
so basically, we competed in Belgium and the Ghent Chase Off, and at that competition, Kimio beat every team there. I mean, sure, I think almost every game was in sudden death, but they still beat
Yeah,
every team.
I know it was. We each played 4 games,
Yeah.
and 3 of Kimio's games were in sudden death, but they won they beat every team
They
there.
beat every team in sudden death. But then so their record was 4-0, but because the way Chase Tag currently keeps track of points, Eugen won, even though Kimio beat them in sudden death, which to me makes absolute 0 sense. I think that's the dumbest thing ever. And it's because the way they viewed it was that sudden death was a draw, but it's not a draw though because you have sudden death. There's a clear winner in sudden death, therefore it's not a draw. Like that doesn't that doesn't even make sense. You literally call it a sudden death win, therefore it's a win. But Chase Tag saw it as a draw, so just because you get less points for going to sudden death and winning in sudden death. Oh, there's a train. Haha.
The train.
uh, versus that. So for me, my idea is that and it's very simple. You don't got to change anything. I think points should matter if there is a tie in the record. So for me, I think that the record should come first. So if you're 4-0, another team's 3-1, clearly the team that's 4-0 is number one in that group or whatever. That's just obvious. Now, let's say there are two teams that are 3-1, then sure, then maybe you go back to those points where it's like a win is worth 3, a win in sudden death is worth 2. I'm fine with that. That's okay. I think there needs to be some sort of like tiebreaker in that regard, but I think that's when points should come in. It shouldn't be points first. It should be record first, is my opinion. And I think that that's just a good change that needs to happen.
That tournament was asphalt, right?
Oh yeah, asphalt. Right.
In Belgium.
Yeah.
That's when Kimio, yeah, they won every game. They were undefeated, but they didn't win the tournament.
Yeah, and I
And
remember
every other team had lost
yeah, literally, and I remember, like
at least one game.
exactly, I remember talking to, like, the Kenyan athletes afterwards, and I was apologizing to my guys, like, "I'm so sorry, like, you guys definitely should have won, like, that's so stupid," and, like, I don't know, poor Kenyo, but hopefully they'll
Yeah,
make
they
that
deserve
change
that. They deserve that one. They deserve that win.
100%. I mean, they beat every team, and that's just how it is, so I think calling a sudden death is a draw is dumb because it's not a draw, like, that's there's no need for there to be a draw. You have the system in place with sudden death that is and you can call sudden death what you want, like, sure, there's some nuance to it because obviously, like, that was a van beeping outside. Anyway, but obviously, like when a game goes to sudden death, it literally is a coin flip at the highest level, where it's like it comes down to sometimes like 1 or 2 seconds, where it's like, but that's what makes it sudden death intense, right? Like if a game gets there, then it's intense. That's how it should be. But like, I think it's fair to say whoever, which it doesn't necessarily mean that the team that wins in sudden death is the best, but they're the best in that moment. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Because it's so like it comes down to the wire in sudden death. It obviously like is it's hard and the best team in the world could lose in sudden death, but that's a part of any sport. When you're in overtime, you're in shootouts in hockey, like That's a part of any sport, and, like, that's the if you don't win in regular time, that's the risk you take as a team. You know what I mean? So
And that is why it's so exciting too to watch. You a lot of chase tag games are sort of like hockey scores. It's a 1-0 or 2-1 or 1-1.
mhm.
Very rare does somebody get 3, and if they do get 3 points, it's oftentimes teams are not as good, somebody's not as good, or maybe you just if you know the other if your 2 high level teams play each other, you rarely score 3 points. Um,
Yeah.
so there's more chances of it being a tie, and that makes it really exciting to watch. It's always the game's so close the whole way through, and then it could go into sudden death, or it could not. Or if you score 1 point, it's such a big thing that scoring 1 point might be all it takes to win. So,
Exactly, exactly. That's why evasions are way higher on your points. It's hard to get evasions in today's chase tag because all it takes is one mistake and you get tagged. So it's hard. I think the format they have now is perfect. I don't think they need to change it. I think they just need to change. I just described it a second ago, but I think they just needed to change how they track standings, and that's how.
oh, I got another one. Do we want to talk about the really cool uh, team theme songs they came out with?
Yeah, I think we can. Uh, yeah, that's something. That was actually really funny. Chase Tag's gonna hate us for talking about this, but it's fine. It's a lot of love people. I'm gonna talk
They,
smack, but it's
they
fine.
like when we talk shit, but not when we talk shit against
Oh my god, you're right.
about them.
Exactly. As soon as we start talking smack about them, they start getting upset. Especially when people post memes and they get upset, like, oh, blah, blah, blah." It's like, guys, it's a meme. Calm down. It's not that serious. Anyway, yeah, I think that was pretty not smart.
So,
Basically,
some teams like their songs though because it made the song unique about them.
I guess. I think so. Basically, Chase Tag HQ used AI to make some walkout songs for teams, and ours is hilarious. It is so funny, and not in a good way. Like it's just so bad that it's hilarious. Yeah, it's it's something.
You should post a link so that people can listen to it, and then
Yeah,
they can comment on whether they like it or if we should keep it or
I
not.
probably can play it
You
now.
should.
Hold up, I probably can just
Oh,
play it over the mic. Hang on. All right, one moment, please, people. I gotta pull this up so you guys
but
get to hear it.
can can you show them what? Because just by listening to it, you can hardly hear the lyrics. The
Oh
lyrics
no,
make it so funny.
oh no, you're gonna be able to hear it. This mic is awesome. It'll be able to hear it. Just
Yeah, but
don't.
I could hardly even hear it when I listened to the song.
We'll do our best. We'll do our best. Hold up,
Okay.
hold up. Oh wait, I'm connected to the Bluetooth. Hold up, people. I gotta turn off my Bluetooth quick because the gym is
But it would
speaking.
be better, I think, if it weren't so clearly AI.
Well,
The
yeah, but
song
also just the
itself,
lyrics are
the lyrics
hilarious.
are funny.
All right, here we go, people. Here we go. Dexterity depot. Oh, make it clear, Dexterity depot. Capital keystone, say the name Dexterity depot. Dexterity depot, say the name Dexterity depot. Dexterity depot. Bossman, Dex, Mystic Ninja, no panic. Eric, you French croissant like a mechanic. Reverse code, Hannigan, dance in the gritty. Switch up Alex, turn straight like strategy. Steady Mike turns the whole place loud. Fisher pressure of the air and the lead feel proud. Geo with the finish, close cap on the floor. Dexterity, people say the name you want more. 20 seconds, make it count. Footwork heavy, bodies bound to reach, we fade. Rotate next frame, you're already late. I'm gonna switch to the end because it's even funnier with this end part. Hold up. Here we go. I think this is it. Hold up. Oh, I went too far. Hold up. Is this it? Ah, well, I don't know where it is, but there was one part that was really cringe and hilarious too, where it's like deepo 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 deepo. But anyway, yeah. So there's that.
People should, guys, if you're listening, you should comment whether we should keep the song or we should play the song or not.
Oh my god, yes. Guys, you can make the choice. I already
Yeah.
told them that we'd decide on no as a team, but yes, if we get enough thumbs up votes, we will make that be our team's walkout and we'll go for it.
If people wanna listen to the whole thing, is there a link that you have that
No, I
you
could try
should give
I
them
could
one?
try to figure it out.
You
I'll
should
try.
put something on your, YouTube or
Yeah, like a link or something.
Instagram.
Sure. Yeah.
Just play the whole song just for people to watch, to listen
Exactly.
to it.
Yeah, anyway, but yeah, so let us know in the comments if you think we should use that as our walkout song or not. Once again, our team's already decided on no, but we will gladly go back and change it just for the meme. Anyway.
It said something about Aaron and the croissant.
Oh, yeah, yeah, because I guess they forgot that I was the one who said that, and they assumed it was Aaron because you know how Aaron is, and then I don't know why that's
Do you know what it says? 'Cause all I hear is croissant and Aaron or
I
something.
forget exactly what it's something about it's about the comment we were talking about earlier with the croissant knocked out of it, something like that. They're trying to reference that basically.
Yeah.
Again. Anyway, hilarious.
Boss man Tim.
Boss Mystic Ninja instead of Mindful Ninja too, which is hilarious. The hell, I remember I sent in the group chat so that the Mystic Ninja, I sent like a picture of like like a mystical like witch, and I was like, I'm gonna dress like this at Worlds, like
Um, yeah.
steady Mike, that's funny. And then Geo. Oh my
It's
god.
funny though. I mean, we make fun of things, but it is in good fun.
It's in good fun. Yeah, we
We
do love Chase Tag. They're
we
doing
love
great
Chase
things.
Tag. We love Christian and Damien and everyone
Everyone
involved.
else, they're all
Yeah.
great. Yeah, but it's just fun to laugh at this stuff. Another thing we could talk about too is these are rankings. Ooh, another spicy topic. These official team rankings. You
Oh,
know what I'm talking about?
no, because I'm not on social media.
Oh, that's
So,
right. He's not on social media.
where are we ranked?
I don't even know. I think it's like ninth or 10th or something like that. Maybe 11th. I don't even know. I really don't pay
Yeah.
attention.
Well, we have an opportunity to change it this
We
year.
do. Yeah, and here's the thing. I think I'm gonna once again I'm gonna, say some things on this. I don't and I'm gonna say these things not because I'm like butthurt about their rankings because I really don't care. Like I think I do not care in the slightest bit to be honest. However, I do have an issue with the rankings, and here's why. A couple different things. I think there's a difference between like all-time rankings and current standings. And I think that needs to be clear because if you're looking at like all-time rankings, then sure, I could see why we are at where we're at on the rankings. For example, using us as the example. However, if you're looking at this season standings, I think it's completely not true. And all the rankings I think are done because they have Apex ranked so far at the top, so far at the top, but they got eliminated. They didn't even qualify for Worlds this year. So how can that team be considered that high in the current standings? So I think they need to again, if it's overall rankings, then like if all time rankings, sure, I get it. That makes
Mhm.
complete sense. But I think there should be a difference between all-time rankings and current season standings, is my opinion.
Well, my question is because I didn't see the standings or the rankings. Are they using those rankings to put for the teams this season in Worlds? You know how they have rankings for teams in Worlds, and then it puts you in a certain bracket.
I don't think so. I think it's gonna be randomized. To my
Oh,
understanding,
that's
it's
right.
randomized, which is
Really?
yes, yeah. So again, like they're gonna like essentially like pick names out of a hat, basically. But like again, like what's the point of the standings rankings? You're not even gonna do anything with them anyway.
Mm.
That's another problem I have with them. But
But rankings can always, even UFC rankings, everyone has an issue with them
correct,
because
yeah.
they're never accurate.
Correct. And another thing too is like they have these ranking standings, call them what you will, but like because the seasons are so far apart and comps are so far apart, they're not even the same teams anymore. Like Apex is so high and rightfully so, but nowadays their team is completely different. Our team is different. It's the same, but different for the most. It's a little different, but most of the same. So I get that with us, but other teams have very different players on them, you know? So it's like because the comps are so far apart, going back to this initial issue of consistency, I don't think the rankings really mean anything because it's like sure, you could use the rankings from last season, but from our most recent comp until Worlds, every team is gonna be so much different from then till then.
Yeah, I think maybe after Worlds this season, to make the most accurate ranking, you have to almost go off of the results
Yeah,
from this coming up, this Worlds coming up in June. After that, you could make the rankings from the way
yeah, like if
the
you
way the teams finished
right, or and for yeah, as a starting point. Again, that's like a standing thing, but like,
standing.
but if we
Yeah.
had more events and teams are competing more, then I think then that's when those rankings would be more important or standings rather, if they would mean more. But because the events are so far apart, I don't think they don't really have much ground, in my opinion. I'm sure people will
Yeah,
disagree, and that's fine. But
then there's no point in us getting worked up about them if they have no
Exactly, that's why I don't get worked
Rounds.
up. I literally don't care at all. I don't like how they spent time and effort into making this, but that's another conversation too, I guess. But anyway, I think that, like, they need to make again, my key point here is there's a difference between all-time rankings and current season standings, and that needs to be clear. Because
Yeah.
even, like, on the list, dude, they have, like, 2 and 5 ranked below teams that don't even compete anymore. Like, teams that aren't even like, GNF doesn't compete anymore, Olo, all these teams are ranked, but, like, they don't compete anymore. They haven't for years. So why are they on the rankings, and why are they higher than current teams that are actually still playing the game? Doesn't make
And
any sense.
competitive.
And are competitive, correct. Like, that I don't get that. And again, if it's overall, all-time, sure. But I don't know if that's their intent for that. They didn't make that clear, you know? Oh, sorry, you need to take a call or something?
No, I'm just
Okay.
ignoring all my calls.
That's
I was just
fair.
looking at them.
That's fair. Yeah. I mean, this is good. We've been going for like an hour, 40 minutes. So
Yeah.
we can keep going for a little bit. We can stop. It's up to you. But it's all good.
Chase tag, this I love talking about chase tag. I think it's one of the funnest things to talk about.
Yeah, I agree.
But
I agree.
maybe you had other topics you wanted to touch on too.
No, I mean we've talked about a lot of good stuff. I think a lot of people will hopefully get some value out of this and learning more about you and the things you value, your upbringing, all this stuff. And I think we have talked about a lot of fun stuff. It's been a good one. So yeah, I mean, is there anything else you want to touch on?
Not really, no. I'm looking forward to Worlds this year. I guess we've been talking about that. That's the main thing to look out for if people are listening to this. Is this going to be out before Worlds?
Oh yeah, it'll be out in like a couple days probably. From the time we film this, it'll be out like within a week. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gearing up to compete for World Chase Tag 7. Am I right on that?
Yeah.
So that's in June 6, 7, and 8.
I think it's only 2 days. It's only Saturday, Sunday.
7 and 8.
Is that what it is? Or I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's one of those numbers,
Oh
somewhere in
no,
there.
6 and 7.
You did
I
not
just
just
didn't
say
want to
that.
say that
Yep,
word.
exactly. Yep.
But those are the dates. You should tune in. You get to see us compete.
Yeah, definitely
Either
tune in.
you get to watch us do well or get embarrassed, one or the other.
Either way, it's gonna be a great time.
Yeah. Either way, it'll be fun entertainment for you to watch.
Yeah, I mean the way they're doing it this year is a little different. They have 2 groups of I think 6 teams, 2 groups, 6 teams, and then the top 2 from each group move on. Personally, I'm not a fan
Yeah.
of that. I prefer the groups from the past, but I guess we'll see how it goes. It's gonna be a lot of matches, a lot of chase tag action going on throughout the weekend, so it should be fun.
That's
Whether
brutal though. You saying only 2 teams
Oh, you didn't know about
in
this?
in that group. I think I did. But you have to almost win every match.
Every game essentially is the most important game of the entire competition
Dang.
because they're in the group stages. Because before like whatever, and then, 3 teams moved on, but now it's only 2 teams from each group. So that means 4 teams total move on out of 12.
Yeah, so if you lose one, you have a chance, but there's a chance you don't.
Correct.
You could lose one game and not make the playoffs,
The
basically.
semifinals, yeah, that's what. Yeah,
Semifinals.
which I don't personally like. I like the old way they're doing it, but again, this hasn't happened yet, so I'm not going to judge it until it happens. I don't.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. It could be great. Who knows?
One of the nice things is you're guaranteed to play how many matches? 5.
5, yeah.
Which is, I think, I like that part, but maybe the only thing I would change is put at least 8 teams in the playoffs.
Right. Yeah.
Because if only 4 get there, that's tough. Because what if someone has like a tough loss and then they don't even make it to the?
It's possible.
It is possible that you don't make it with one loss. Because there could be one team's undefeated, 2 teams with one loss, and only one of those 2 teams
Correct. That's a good point.
could make it.
Yeah, it's gonna.
Oh, actually, no. You'd have to have a 3-way tie of 3 teams with one loss in order to make that happen. Because
Okay.
if one team's undefeated, there couldn't be 2 teams with just one loss because they would be playing each other.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
But there is still a way that you could get one loss and not make it because it could be a 3-way tie at 3-1,
Right. Yeah, if 2
or
teams
it's
in the group get
5-1.
destroyed.
Sorry,
No, yeah, I know what you mean. Or 4-1 it would be.
4-1.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. I guess we'll find out. I mean, it could be awesome. Again, it's their first time doing this, so we'll see how it goes. Again, I'm not going to judge it until it happens. We'll see. either way, I'm excited. I feel great. I feel really good. I
Yeah.
think, I'm feeling very strong physically, mentally. I think our team's gonna do really well. I think as long as we all show up and do our jobs, we'll have a chance to win. And, obviously, when you're at this high level of any sport, it comes down to such small increments of what team wins and what team loses. One minor mistake could be the difference between an evasion or a tag or a game or a win or a loss, you know? So, this is definitely gonna be the most exciting worlds we've had to date by far.
Yeah, and every team there is so good.
Every
That's the
team there,
other
yep.
thing is we have to be in order to even have a chance of winning, we have to be on our best game.
100%, and every team's like that, like,
Every team is that way.
it's crazy, like, maybe it's even hard for fans that aren't super involved to be able to tell, but yeah, every game is gonna be so intense, so competitive. Obviously, there's chances for mistakes to happen, but I think that most games won't go more than 3 evasions, I think is I don't think there'll be games that'll end in, like, 5-0 or 6-0 or anything like that. I think every game will be between 1 and 2 points is my guess. Or most probably a lot will end in sudden death too, to be honest.
Yeah, probably.
That's my prediction, there we go. So, who do you think's gonna win?
Mm. Hmm. I mean, it's still hard to count out the champs. Number one, the team we won last year, Hollywood, they're still probably the favorites to win. Um, Probably. They're probably the favorites than us. I'm not being biased.
Yeah, no, never.
So,
I think most fans would probably say, yeah, Hollywood and maybe what would their pick be? No,
would it
no.
be Eugen or
59 because
59?
they won
But
the French
is
championships?
59, do they have the same team? Are they still the same team that they were?
I think their roster is more similar to what it was in, Rotterdam. So I don't think it's not like their OG team, but I think it's
So if
like
it's not their OG team, they might not be as much of a favorite to win.
mm.
But they still I think they're not gonna pick up people who aren't good. Like
No,
whoever's gonna
no.
join their team is gonna be good.
Yeah, those new players are good. Oh, and they have Gavin.
Gavin, I know.
Shout out Gavin. I love that guy. He's so sick.
Yeah.
He's only 16, which is insane. He looks like he's like 21 at least. Like,
Yeah. But that is another thing why in chase tag I think you can be competitive at a longer lifespan. You don't have to be in your peak physically. Like Gavin's only 16, so he's not in his physical peak, but he can still compete in chase tag because he's quick and fast and he understands the game.
oh yeah,
So you just need to be able to um, move your body,
yeah. No, Gavin
have
is
control of your body.
yeah. So they have him. Hopefully they'll play him. I
And
mean,
I think
they should play him.
he's good
He's
enough to
great.
play. I
Oh,
mean,
he's.
he's like way good enough to
I think he'll be
play.
the best player on their team.
Yeah, but quite possibly.
He's so good. Yeah, he's a beast. I think like yeah, he's one to look out for sure. Any other players you can think of that are new or
Yeah,
that look out for? You think for
yeah. The
MLS?
other new players are Rooftop Kings. They have a good team, which they would be new in the chase tag
Like mainstream, I
main
guess.
chase tag stream because they didn't compete in last Worlds, which was 2 years ago, but they are going to be definitely to look out for.
Oh yeah, yeah. Don, yes, all of them. They're all great guys. They're gonna be a lot of
Red
fun to
one.
watch. Red one, yep, all of them. They're all great. Taha, all the rest of them is gonna be fun to watch for sure. I think a lot of it's gonna come down to what team is in what group.
Yeah.
Because it's randomized, like, you could essentially have one group that's, like, I don't know if they'll make I don't know how they're gonna
Surely they wouldn't
do it.
let that happen. But what if we're in a group with Hollywood and Eugen?
Yeah, in theory, you could have, like,
That's
your
crazy.
top 6 teams or top 4 teams all in one group, and then from there, yeah, then what? Then
But
you're
the thing is, for us, like if we're in a group with those teams, we still, in order to win, we have to beat them anyway. So
correct, that's a good point. I think that's what they're
we
trying
just
to push
have
as
to,
well, yeah.
yeah.
Either
Eh,
way, you have to just win, but
So the games before the playoffs are just as important as the playoff games.
yeah, I guess I think every single game is, like, essentially it's do or die because
Pretty much.
yeah, every game is like that, which makes the intensity go
Dang,
so much higher, yeah.
that's gonna make it so intense. But
Yeah,
also, if you lose a game, or maybe let's say you lose 2 games and you still have 1 or 2 games left to play, then you can just play without. You can also then you have nothing to lose.
that's true.
So like playing those teams might even be harder if someone's in that shoes, or if we're in that shoes, it would almost be like, okay, now we don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
But it should be that way in the very get go too.
Oh, yeah. I think that's gonna be intense. I feel like we have been in these high pressure scenarios a lot. So these more newer teams like Rooftop Kings or even Quality, for example, like I wonder how they're going to deal with all this pressure because every game matters so much. I wonder how that's going to affect certain players' mindsets.
Mm, yeah,
Like I don't
that's a
know.
good question.
Like I feel good in that moment. I mean, we've been there before. We've been the losing team. Like we know how it feels. Like I feel like we're in a good place mentally as a team where we understand everyone has a role. Everyone we have a good system in place now. I feel like for how things run on the team and during comps. So I feel like we should be okay, but obviously when you're there in the moment, the pressure is on, like, who knows who's gonna crack and who's not, you know?
Yeah, anything can happen, and it's so
Anything can
fast,
happen.
so quick.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. I guess we'll leave it on that, though. I mean, people, yeah, like Paul said, look out for Worlds. It's gonna be the most intense year yet for sure. I would say follow him on Instagram, but he doesn't have any of that, so
But that's why you should watch, because it's gonna be exciting.
Yeah.
And that's the only place you can follow me. So
That's exactly
follow
right.
me on YouTube clips. You'll see.
Yeah.
Follow Roland. He'll have videos of me, or Dexterity has some
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah,
So
yeah. So yeah, follow all the chase tag accounts, chase tag 10, frontline tags, roll chase tag, all those quad talks, all the above. But yeah, man, this has been fun. We'll have to do it again at some point in the future. I think it's been a good conversation. So thanks a lot, Paul, and thanks for being awesome.
it's been great. Thanks for having me.